What's up guys, Chigs here, and this is the Infinix GT50 Pro. And on paper this thing is built for gaming. We are talking 144 FPS, liquid cooling, and even pressure sensitive shoulder triggers. But the real question here is, does it actually perform? Well, let's find out, shall we? Roll the intro. So the Infinix GT50 Pro, and I got the cooling edition here, so we got a few extras. So let me show you what you get inside the box. So when you pop that box open, you've got two boxes, one for the phone and one for the GT MagCharge Cooler 2.0. So in the box you get your paperwork, you get the Infinix GT Mag case, so you can actually use the cooler, and I will show you that in action. So you pop the case onto the phone and then the cooler just attaches magnetically. And once you plug it in, it not only starts wirelessly charging your phone, but it also activates a cooler, completely silent in operation. You can't hear that fan spinning. And on the other side, this will feel like a fridge. So this is what you get in the cooling edition. Not only that, you're also getting a 45 watt fast charger included in the box, along with a Type-C to USB-A charging cable. All right, so now let's talk design. Now you've got a very unique design here. And yeah, it's not a subtle phone. You've got a very bold gaming aesthetic inspired by Kevlar and carbon fiber textures with a proper mechanical, almost futuristic look. In terms of build quality, it actually feels quite solid in the hands. The phone doesn't feel cheap or flimsy, and everything is put nicely together. You've got a clean, sturdy frame, which does appear to be made from polycarbonate. And the back panel has a textured finish which not only looks good but also helps with grip. But at the same time, if you reflect the light, you can see it does pick up fingerprints. And the back is not made from glass either. Furthermore, you've got built-in RGB lighting strips with multiple lighting effects. And they even react to things like gaming, charging, and notifications. So yeah, this phone has personality. It's definitely not trying to blend in. Furthermore, you also get IP54 splash and dust resistance, which adds a bit of reassurance for daily usage. And the phone does come in a few different color options as well, like Black Abyss, which we have here. You can also pick up Red Blaze or Silver Glacier, each with its own distinct look. Size-wise, it's around 8.15 millimeters in thickness, and it weighs around 198 grams. So it's not too heavy and still quite comfortable to hold, even during longer gaming sessions. And then you've got the standout feature, the Pressure Sense GT triggers. Now these support light press, heavy press, and slide gestures, which basically turns the phone into something closer to a game controller. And once you get used to them, especially in FPS games, it actually makes a difference. So overall, the design is bold, the build quality is solid, and everything here clearly leans into that gaming identity. Alright, so quick look at the ports. At the bottom we have SIM tray, microphone hole, we got Type-C charging port, and a loudspeaker. And let me quickly show you the SIM tray. So this is a dual 5G SIM tray. On this side you've got volume rocker and power button and your touch triggers. On the other side we have nothing. And at the top of the phone you've got a secondary loudspeaker, microphone, and even an IR blaster. Alright, now it's time to check out that display. On the front, you've got a 6.78-inch AMOLED display with a 1.5K resolution, and more importantly, a refresh rate that goes up to 144 Hz. So everything just feels smooth and responsive whether you're scrolling or gaming. Brightness is really good. It goes up to 4,500 nits peak. So visibility outdoors is not an issue. And you also get 100% DCI-P3 color for rich and vibrant visuals. There's also 2304 Hz PWM dimming to reduce eye strain during long sessions. On top of that, the display is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 7i. So you are getting solid scratch and drop resistance for everyday use. So overall, this is a proper high-end display, not just something thrown in for specs. Now let's talk performance. This phone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8400 Ultimate, built on a 4nm process paired with the Mali G720 MC7 GPU. You also got up to 12 gigs of RAM plus an additional 12 gigs of virtual RAM and fast UFS 4.1 storage. So day-to-day performance is super smooth, apps open quickly, and multitasking is not an issue. But the real highlight here is the cooling system. This phone uses a hydro-flow liquid cooling system with a micro pump, which is something you don't usually see in smartphones. It actively moves liquid through the system to manage heat, which helps maintain performance over long gaming sessions. Alright, so moving on to the benchmarks, starting off with Geekbench, single core score 1358 and multi-core score 6695. And in 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, overall score 4142. And in 3D Mark Steel Nomad Lite, overall score 1440. 3D Mark Solar Bay, overall score 6582. And in the Antutu benchmark test, this phone achieves 1.8 million. So pretty decent benchmark scores. Alright, so now it's time to test the gaming performance, and COD Mobile does actually support 144 FPS, and when you select it, it will drop the graphics down to medium. So let's go ahead and check out some gameplay. Now if you swipe in from the left, you got your gaming overlay, and you can see I've set it on performance mode, and if you swipe up, you've got other options over here that you can play with: GT trigger, smart trigger, single press combos, liquid cooling, eye care for gaming, image stabilization, you've got esports mode, you got ultra frame rate mode, bypass charging, off-screen gaming, call rejection, and so on and so forth. There is a lot of gaming features here, as you can see, including filters. Alright, so let's program the triggers. So you can choose the gesture: tap, press, light or heavy press, or press and release. So I'm going to go for tap. So left tap will be aim, and right tap will be shoot. Now gaming is where this phone really makes sense. You got native 144 FPS support in games like Call of Duty Mobile, and in real use it feels incredibly smooth. No stuttering, no random drops, just consistent performance. The GT triggers also make a noticeable difference, especially in FPS games, giving you better control without covering the screen. You've also got esports mode, which basically transforms the phone into a dedicated gaming device. It blocks notifications, optimizes performance, and removes distractions so you can just focus on the game. So after a full game of COD Mobile, you can see the battery temperature 38 degrees and CPU temperature 45 degrees Celsius. You can see the liquid cooling is active right now, so it automatically activates itself to keep the system running cool, and you can see the temperatures are already dropping. Gaming performance was absolutely amazing. Triggers do feel really good. The touch triggers are responsive. They are pressure sensitive, so you can take advantage of that in certain games. But for COD Mobile, the basic setup worked really well. Alright, so let's move on to the cameras. Now, the cameras are not the main focus of this phone, but they're still pretty decent. You've got dual cameras on the back, a 50 megapixel primary and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. And on the front, you have a 13 megapixel selfie camera. Let me give you a quick walkthrough of the camera app. So you got vlog mode, video mode. So maximum resolution is 4K 60 with the rear camera. If you flip to the front camera, maximum resolution is 4K 30. Then you've got AI camera, and you can see very fast photo processing there. Then you've got portrait mode, super night mode, and under more, you've got a whole bunch of options you can play with, including Ultra HD, super macro, and dual photos. I'll select Ultra HD, which is 50 megapixel photos, and I'll just show you again. No loading times between taking snaps. Very quick, even in 50 megapixel mode. So lots of features, decent camera performance. Now let's check out the samples. Now the audio is actually pretty decent here. You've got dual speakers, one bottom firing and one top firing, and they do support Dolby Atmos sound, which helps create a more immersive sound experience. And here is a quick taste of the sounds. So very decent Dolby Atmos speakers, and whilst you're gaming, it actually makes a big difference, especially when it comes to directional audio like footsteps or gunfire. So yeah, quite happy with the sounds. Now in terms of battery life, you are either getting a 6150 or a 6500 milliamp hour battery, depending on your region. So I have here the 6500 milliamp hour battery, and that easily gets you through a full day. You've also got 45-watt wired charging and 30-watt wireless charging. Now, even though this does support wireless charging, it doesn't feel like a glass back. It's more of a textured composite finish, which actually makes sense for a gaming phone because it gives you better grip, it's more durable and less heat buildup. Now, one of the standout features here is wireless bypass charging, which powers the phone directly whilst gaming instead of heating up the battery, which is great for long gaming sessions. Now, if we talk about the software, this phone is running XOS version 16 based on Android 16, and it comes packed with gaming focused features and AI tools. You've got things like AI voice prompts, voice changers, smart triggers, and gameplay optimization tools. On top of that, you are also getting 3 years of OS updates and 5 years of security updates, which is solid support for a phone in this category. Now, to give you a better idea of how powerful this phone is, let's take a look at my latest smartphone performance chart for 2026. Now this chart shows you all the latest smartphones side by side, so you can see exactly how they stack up against each other. Every phone here is ranked using Geekbench multi-core score, so higher the score, the more powerful the phone, and therefore higher it ranks on the chart. And I've also rated each phone with a score out of 100, so you know exactly what I think of each phone regardless of the performance rank. Now these charts put everything in one place, tested the same way, so you can clearly see how each phone performs. And as you can see here, the Infinix GT 50 Pro takes position 15 on this chart with a Geekbench multi-core score of 6695. So overall experience is high-end, gaming is top tier, battery life is excellent, and cameras are solid but not flagship level. So this is clearly a phone built for gaming first, and everything else comes after that. And I've also given this phone an overall rating of 94 out of 100. Now I'll be constantly updating this chart as new devices launch, so if you want the most up-to-date rankings, head over to chicstech.com to read them at your leisure and completely free of charge. So there you have it, guys. That was the new Infinix GT50 Pro, and here are my thoughts. So gaming performance is strong with smooth and responsive gameplay, especially the 144 FPS support. And the GT triggers are actually useful and add a proper controller-like feel, while the advanced cooling system helps maintain performance during longer gaming sessions. The AMOLED display is sharp and vibrant, and the large battery combined with the fast charging makes it reliable for all-day use. Now, the caveats, there's only one that I could find. The cameras are decent, but they're not flagship level. So if photography is your priority, this may not be the best option for you. So bottom line, this phone is not trying to be everything. This is a gaming phone, and for that purpose, it actually delivers. Performance is strong, gaming features are not just gimmicks, and the cooling system is genuinely impressive. That being said, let me know what you guys think. Would you actually use a phone like this for gaming, or is it just doing too much? Do let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.